Imagine a barren, parched landscape. Now picture a lush green garden, both under the same sun yet worlds apart. This contrast paints a vivid picture of two realities. One, a world resigned to the harsh elements, devoid of life, color, and vibrancy. The other, a testament to the resilience of nature, filled with a symphony of colors, textures, and life. The difference? A keen understanding and application of drought-resistant gardening techniques. Drought-resistant gardening isn't just a trend. It's a response to our changing climate, a solution to the water scarcity many regions are grappling with. It's about creating lush, thriving gardens that require minimal water, standing as vibrant oases in the midst of parched landscapes. It's about transforming the way we garden and in doing so transforming our surroundings. But what if we told you both could thrive under the same sun? Water scarcity is a reality, and yet we desire green spaces. How do we reconcile the two? It's a question that's become all too familiar in recent years. Climate change, population growth, and urban expansion have put a strain on our water resources. Traditional gardening practices often require copious amounts of water, making the pursuit of a lush garden increasingly challenging, if not unsustainable. Imagine trying to maintain that vibrant sea of green in your backyard, only to watch it wither under the scorching sun, the soil parched and cracked. It's a heartbreaking scenario, isn't it? But what if we told you there's another way? A way to maintain our green spaces while also being mindful of our planet's water resources. We're talking about water-efficient garden planning. It's about making smart choices, from the plants we choose to the watering systems we install. The answer lies in drought-tolerant gardening. This is where we can reconcile our love for greenery with the reality of water scarcity. Drought-tolerant gardening, a smart approach to creating lush spaces while conserving water. So what exactly is drought-tolerant gardening? It's a gardening method that focuses on using plants and techniques which are designed to withstand periods of low rainfall and high heat. This doesn't mean your garden has to resemble a desert landscape, far from it. Instead, it's about making smart choices to build a garden that's both beautiful and water efficient. Imagine a traditional garden, one filled with lush lawns and thirsty plants. Now envision that same garden but with plants that have adapted to survive in dry conditions. They're just as beautiful, just as vibrant, but require far less water. That's drought-tolerant gardening in a nutshell. So, how does this translate to water consumption? Let's break it down. Picture a bucket that represents the water used in a traditional garden. Now compare this to a smaller bucket, about half the size, that represents the water used in a drought-tolerant garden. That's a significant saving, right? And the best part is, this doesn't come at the cost of a lush, attractive garden. Selecting drought-tolerant plants is a key part of this process. There's a wide array of these plants available, from flowering perennials like lavender and sage, to hardy succulents and ornamental grasses. These plants not only survive but thrive in dry conditions, bringing color, texture, and life to your garden. But it's not just about the plants. It's also about how you care for your garden. Techniques like mulching, using compost, and installing a drip irrigation system can help retain moisture in the soil and deliver water directly to the roots of your plants. This ensures your garden gets the most out of every drop of water. And remember, this isn't about creating a barren, dry landscape. Quite the contrary, a drought-tolerant garden can be just as lush, vibrant, and inviting as any other garden. You just have to make smart choices and embrace the opportunity to conserve water while creating a beautiful outdoor space. And no, drought-tolerant doesn't mean dull and lifeless. Let's debunk some myths about drought-tolerant gardening. It's time to set the record straight and dispel some of the most common misconceptions. One of the prevalent myths is that drought-tolerant gardens are destined to look like a barren desert. That's quite far from the truth. With the right selection of plants and design, your garden can be a verdant oasis, thriving even in the driest conditions. Another myth is that these gardens are limited to cacti and succulents. While these plants are indeed drought-tolerant, the plant world is brimming with a myriad of species that can withstand dry conditions. From hardy perennials like lavender and sage to vibrant flowers such as marigolds and zinnias, your palette is far from limited. The third myth we often hear is that drought-tolerant gardening is complex and requires expert knowledge. In reality, it's about understanding the basics, such as appropriate soil preparation, effective irrigation methods, and suitable plant selection. With these tools in your arsenal, you're well equipped to create a drought-tolerant garden. Now let's talk about transformations. Imagine a dry, neglected space yearning for attention. With a bit of planning, this space can be turned into a lush, water-efficient garden. Start with enhancing the soil's water retention ability by adding organic matter. Next, choose a variety of drought-tolerant plants, considering their water needs, growth habits, and aesthetic appeal. The result? A vibrant garden that not only conserves water but also adds beauty to your home. It's a win-win situation. Remember, drought-tolerant gardening is not about deprivation, but about adaptation. It's about creating a garden that works with nature, not against it. A garden that is resilient, sustainable, and most importantly, beautiful. As you can see, drought-tolerant gardens can be lush and vibrant. Want to start your own drought-tolerant garden? Here's how. First things first, let's talk about rainwater collection. It's a fantastic, eco-friendly way to ensure your garden has the hydration it needs, without relying on tap water. You'll need a rain barrel, which you can find at any home and garden store, and a downspout. Position your rain barrel under the downspout to collect the runoff from your roof. It's as easy as that. Now, every time it rains, you're not just watching a weather event, you're watching your garden's next drink. Next up, let's talk about the stars of the show, the plants themselves. The key here is to select plant species that are low water and drought resistant. Some top picks include succulents like the ever-popular aloe vera, which not only looks cool but also has medicinal properties. Or how about the lavender plant? It's not just pretty and fragrant, it's also a magnet for pollinators like bees and butterflies. If you're looking for something a bit bigger, consider drought-resistant trees like the beautiful olive tree or the resilient mesquite. These trees not only provide shade but also add an architectural element to your garden. And let's not forget about mulch. Mulching is like giving your garden a warm blanket. It helps retain moisture, suppress weeds, and as it decomposes, it enriches your soil with nutrients. Applying a 3 to 4 inch layer of organic mulch around your plants can significantly reduce the need for watering. Remember, the goal is not to create a desert in your backyard, but a lush, green space that just happens to require less water. It's all about making smart choices and using resources wisely. Setting up a rainwater collection system, selecting the right plants, and using mulch are all simple steps you can take to start your own drought-tolerant garden. No need to be a professional gardener or a botanist, anyone can do it. With these simple steps, you're well on your way to having a beautiful, water-efficient garden. The power to conserve water and still enjoy lush green spaces is in your hands. Remember, drought-tolerant gardening isn't about giving up on your garden during dry spells or sacrificing its beauty for the sake of saving water. On the contrary, it's about harnessing the power of nature, understanding the needs of your plants, and making smarter choices that benefit both your garden and the environment. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. We started our journey with the stark contrast between a barren, parched landscape and a vibrant, lush garden, both under the same sun. We then explored the problem, the misconception that a garden cannot thrive in drought conditions. But we've debunked that myth, showing you that it's indeed possible to cultivate a beautiful garden that's also water efficient. We've introduced you to a variety of drought-resistant plants, each with its unique aesthetic appeal and practical benefits. From succulents to native grasses, these plants are not just survivors in dry conditions, they're champions, adding color and life to your garden while conserving water. Remember the fun we had setting up a rainwater collection system? That's the spirit of drought-tolerant gardening, hands-on, innovative, and resourceful. It's about making the most of what nature gives us and turning challenges into opportunities. We've also busted some myths about drought-tolerant gardening. No, it doesn't mean your garden has to look like a desert. With the right plant selection and garden planning, you can create a lush green space that's just as captivating as any traditional garden, if not more. So here's our call to action. Embrace the concept of drought-tolerant gardening. It's not just an innovative gardening technique, it's a lifestyle choice, a commitment to sustainability, and a step towards a better future. So why not transform your garden into a water-conserving, eco-friendly oasis? Start today and make a difference.